ensure that there is continuation of similar kind of individuals generation after generation. So that is how reproduction helps in our day-to-day life. So what are the modes of reproduction or the types of reproduction? There are two types of reproduction, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction always involves two individuals, that means two parents. Two individuals or two parents are involved in sexual reproduction. So let's see first about sexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, the males and females are involved. So two individuals or two parents, I told you, right? So males and females are involved. And since we have learned the digestive system, digestive process, then respiratory system, how the respiration occurs. Now we will see what is reproductive system and what are parts of the reproductive system. So males and females both are involved in sexual reproduction. Two individuals or two parents are involved. And the males and females have different reproductive parts. Animals produce gametes that fuse to form zygote. So they produce reproductive gametes that fuse together and form zygote. This zygote only develops into a new baby or a new individual animal. And then the zygote develops into a new individual. So gametes fuse together to form zygote. This zygote develops into a new organism. So this type of reproduction, where beginning from fusion of male and female gametes, is called sexual reproduction. So this type of reproduction beginning from fusion of male and female gametes is known as sexual reproduction. This is the definition of sexual reproduction. Let's see the male reproductive system first. So this is the diagram of human male reproductive system. This is similar in animals also. So here first let us see male reproductive system. The male reproductive system looks like this. It has one pair of sperm ducts. So one sperm duct here and one sperm duct here. So it has two sperm ducts. That means one pair. And it has two testes. So when we talk about one single testis, it is testis. And when we are telling a pair, that means two, it is testes. T-E-S. So two sperm ducts and two testes and one single penis. So this is how a male reproductive system looks. And this testis produces gametes or known as sperms for the production of new individual. So this testis produces gametes known as sperms, which are responsible for reproduction process. So millions and millions of sperms or gametes are produced by this testis. So how does a sperm look? A sperm is actually a very microscopic structure, but still it has body parts. It looks like this. It has a head, it has a middle piece, and it has a tail portion. So male reproductive system consists of a pair of sperm ducts, two sperm ducts, a pair of testes, two testes, and a penis. And then these two testes produce gametes which help in reproduction. These gametes are known as sperms, and each organism produces millions and millions of sperms. Suppose if an aquatic animal is producing sperms and releasing into the water, all of them may not get fertilized because some animals will feed on that, some may die. So that is the reason each animal produces millions and millions of sperms, so that at least few of them get fertilized and become new individual. So this is the parts of a sperm, and this is how a sperm looks. It has head, it has a middle piece, and it has a tail. So this is about the male reproductive system. Next, moving on to the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system in human beings looks like this. It is similar in animals also. So what are the parts of female reproductive system? There is a uterus. Uterus bears the baby. Uterus holds the baby or the new organism. That is the function of uterus. After fertilization, the new child or the new organism is molded and developed inside the uterus. And there is one pair of ovary. That means there are two ovaries. These ovaries produces something called ova or ovum. That means egg. And these are the two oviducts, also known as fallopian tubules. So oviducts are also known as fallopian tubules. So in human beings, for every 28 days, one single egg is released from each ovary. So if in 1 month this ovary releases the egg, left side one, the next month right side one releases the egg into the fallopian tubules or oviduct, and then later this ovum or ova or egg gets fertilized with the male gametes, that is testis, and then the fertilization process occurs and then the zygote forms. So female reproductive system consists of uterus, two ovaries and two oviducts. Oviducts are also known as fallopian tubules. In human beings, for every 28 days, one egg is released from the ovary. And then when egg goes and meets the male gametes, that is sperms, then fertilization occurs. So let's see how fertilization occurs. Next is fertilization. So in sexual reproduction, let's see how fertilization occurs. So sperm. We have talked about male reproductive system. In that we have said that male reproductive system has two testes, which makes testes. And these testes contain male gametes, which are called sperms. Sperms are released and then they get fused with the egg and then fertilization occurs. So this sperm is actually only single cell. And same way we have talked about female reproductive system, where ovary releases ovum into the oviducts or fallopian tubules. So this ovum or egg is also a single cell. So sperm and ovum are known as single cells. So here first step in fertilization is fusion of sperm and ovum. So how do the sperm and ovum fuse? When sperm goes and meets the ovum, then it fuses. Then the fertilization occurs. So fusion of sperm and egg is called fertilization. That is the definition of fertilization. Fusion of sperm with egg. When sperm goes and meets the ovum or egg, then only fertilization occurs. And during fertilization, the nucleus of the sperm and the nucleus of the ovum fuse together and form a single nucleus, which results in formation of zygote or a new organism development starts. So during fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and egg fuse together to form single nucleus, which results in formation of fertilized egg or zygote. See, sperm went and met the ovum. Then there was a fusion of that, and then the fertilization occurred, and now that egg is known as fertilized egg. This fertilized egg will now develop into a life, into a new organism. So it is called zygote. So usually when children are in the mother's womb, so a human mother will be 9 months pregnant. So in the first 3 months of the pregnancy, the baby will be known as zygote because it is a fertilized egg. Not much body parts will develop in those 3 months. So from the 4th month only it will be known as a baby. So first 3 months it will be called zygote. So here also in animals it is the same. After fusion of two nucleus, it becomes a single nuclei. Then the egg will be known as fertilized egg or zygote. So this is how the fertilization occurs. And then the fertilization is of two types: internal fertilization and external fertilization. Internal fertilization means in females the fertilization occurs inside the body. So the sperm comes and meets the ovum inside the body of the female organism. So this type of fertilization occurs in human beings, dogs, hens, as well as the cows. So sperm meets the ovum inside the body of the female organism. So fertilization occurs inside the body of the female. This type of fertilization is known as internal fertilization. Next is external fertilization. This type of fertilization where the fusion of male and female gametes, that is sperm and the egg, occurs outside the body of the organism is known as external fertilization. So fusion of sperm and egg occurs outside the body of organism Then it is known as external fertilization. This type is mostly seen in aquatic animals like frogs, fish and starfishes. So I will tell you how fertilization occurs in frog. The female frog releases eggs into the water. Many eggs it releases, and these eggs are very delicate. So hen eggs, we know, right? Hen eggs have a thick outer covering white shell, which is made up of calcium carbonate. It is very hard and thick. Whereas the eggs which frog release are very delicate. They are very soft and covered by a jelly-like structure. They are covered by a jelly-like substance, which makes it very delicate. And that jelly-like substance is a protection to that cell. Why is that a protection? Because in water there may be high temperatures, wind changes, current changes. So protection against all that, the egg of the frog is covered by a jelly-like substance. So this frog releases many eggs inside the water. And then what happens? The female frog releases the eggs. And then the male frog comes and releases millions of sperms over the eggs. Then these sperms swim and go and meet the egg. So when this male frog releases sperms in the water over the egg, these sperms have a head and tail and a middle piece, right? So with the help of tail, the sperms swim and go and meet the egg of the frog, and then the fertilization occurs. But not all the sperms meet all the eggs, because in the pond or in the river, some animals may feed on these eggs, or due to temperature changes, some eggs may die. So that is the reason they lay many eggs, and males also release many sperms, because at least few of them will get fertilized. So then the fertilization occurs, and then the new frog develops. That is a tadpole or a larva stage is reached. So that is how frogs reproduce. The females release many eggs which are jelly-like, delicate in the water. The male comes and releases the sperms over them, and then these sperms swim and go and meet the frog egg, and then the fertilization occurs, and then it develops into a new organism. So that is how it occurs in the aquatic animals. External fertilization, frog, fish and starfish. So if we see in a pond, many times we even see fish eggs which become small fishes and start floating in the water, right? Even if we have an aquarium, we see that fish releases many eggs which later become small fishes and then float in water, right? And same as starfish also does the same. So this is a female egg ovum. Here the sperms come inside, and out of millions of sperms, only one sperm will meet the single ovum, and then the nuclei will fuse form a single nucleus, and then it develops into zygote or a fertilized egg.